go have some fun.
I think it's really easy to look at things as either negative or neutral. You can't take for granted the good things and focus on the bad, and I'm certainly guilty of this in all manners of my life. I see the good things as how things are supposed to be and the bad things as an absolute intrusion on my entire life itself. Not a great mentality, so let's try to break that today and talk about good gaming news. And this is good gaming news relative to what I've been complaining about recently. Starting off with PlayStation, PS Now was kind of a joke of a streaming service. I'm sure some people had good experiences with PS Now, but for the most part I heard that streaming games from the internet from a subscription-based service was a waste. It wasn't very well optimized. Some games worked well, some games didn't. But you can now download the PS2 games and PlayStation 4 games you get through PS Now. You don't stream them over the internet, you actually get to download them to your console. Now, I don't think it's as good as Xbox Game Pass, but it's far more comparable. Now, I do think Sony just needs to give in and add backwards compatibility because they really can't say that nobody cares about old games and then try to charge you for them. But staying positive in this video, this is a much closer step to Sony basically showing you that backwards compatibility is more than possible on the PS4. I would not be surprised if we get a news update early next year or the end of this year where it just says PlayStation 2 games are backwards compatible on PS4. And that would be a real kick to the nuts for Xbox if suddenly PlayStation just had full backwards compatibility with no like, oh, this game's now backwards compatible, now this game is, instead just do straight up all PS2 games or all PS3 games are backwards compatible. I personally want that to happen because one, that's great for PlayStation players, and two, it would force Xbox to actually pick up the pace a little bit and maybe start releasing more backwards compatibility titles. I mean, they've done a great job of it, but rolling them out so slowly over the last couple of years, I mean, we had to wait years for Modern Warfare 2 to become backwards compatible, whereas PlayStation players would just get it, and that would be a really cool feature. I'm not sure from a development standpoint how possible that is, but this is good news because now that you can download those PlayStation 2 and PS4 games, PS Now is now more comparable to Xbox Game Pass, which is a positive thing overall. And more great news on the PlayStation side of things, Fortnite is now cross-platform with PlayStation 4. That's awesome. This is like Sony realizing that even though they have a crown right now as king of consoles, it's very possible for them to lose it if they do things that piss off consumers. PS Now not allowing you to download games, lack of backwards compatibility, a strict policy on crossplay, are all things Sony's been picked on for pretty endlessly by, well, just about every side. Being king of the console market is great, but you can lose that crown pretty quickly if you don't give consumers what they want. They will slowly go to other platforms if you keep restricting them. And this news is great because it's just Sony being less and less restricting. This is great news for PlayStation fans, and it's also great news for Xbox fans. If Sony embraces backwards compatibility in a better way than Microsoft is, then Microsoft will have to step up. If PlayStation Now becomes better than Xbox Game Pass is going to have to step up. And if Sony keeps pursuing cross-platform on multiple titles, where Xbox has already said they're totally willing to do that, that means more people to play with and a larger variety of people to interact with, which is good for everyone. I mean, this kind of competition is only beneficial to us. We see this happen all the time. Nintendo makes a pro-consumer move. Microsoft, Sony follow. Sony makes a pro-consumer move. Microsoft, Nintendo follow. Microsoft makes a pro-consumer move. Nintendo and Sony follow. Nobody wants to lose their player base to a different platform, so you constantly have to compete for your users' attention and love and affection and absolute loyalty to your brand. But speaking of pro-consumer things, we have one more piece of gaming news that I really am happy to share with you guys. Most of you guys will know I made a video that said, is Rainbow Six Siege slowly killing itself? People thought I was doing a Rainbow Six didn't die, it was murdered video, but really, it was really a genuine concern from me as a fan. And even, what was insulting about some of the comments on that video, I have to say, was that I actually put forth some ideas that I think would make Rainbow Six Siege better. I wasn't just saying, it's dying, it's dead, it's stupid, it's broken, I hate it. I was actually putting forth ideas, and I was talking about it as a fan, not as somebody trying to clickbait you. For every one person who respectfully and understandably disagrees with my opinions, there's like 3 people where the point just goes right over their fucking head. But either way, I am not just going to live in bitterness, I am going to talk about something good. Rainbow Six Siege is now offering all of the Year 1 operators for the next 5 months at 30% off. This is great goddamn news. I am so happy to share this because I make that video and then the next week this happens. One of the things I said in that video was that it's too hard for new players to get to the DLC operators. And with this discount, my girlfriend, who doesn't play as much as everyone else I know, but she does enjoy the game, she saw the discount, she's like, holy shit, I can actually just go ahead and buy Frost or Habana now. Because she's been stuck with the standard operators for a while. I mean, her and I share the Year 3 pass, but still, the level of grinding that would have to occur still is pretty high. But this is a positive change for Rainbow Six Siege, and I'm hoping after this 5-month sale on the Year 1 operators, there will be another 5-month sale on the Year 2 operators, which is also a little bit fucky because by that point we're going to be getting into Year 4 of Rainbow Six Siege, and the Year 2 operators will just start going on sale, and the Year 3 ones are going to be expensive, and the Year 1 operators are going to go back to their normal price. It's not great, it's not golden, but it's better, and I'm happy to be able to make a video where I say this is difficult for new players, and the next week see change. I'm not saying the change came from me, but I'm saying it's nice to be able to bitch about something one week and be able to say, hey, something positive happened the next week. I don't think Rainbow Six Siege is dying, I just worry that it's killing itself. Those are two different things. The game is very much alive, but their current process of adding content and operators and everything I think might be a little bit overwhelming and frustrating to a lot of players. Or if it's not, it'll slowly become that way. So it's great news for Rainbow Six Siege fans, it's great news for PlayStation Now subscribers and PlayStation fans, it's great news for fans of crossplay. For the most part, none of these things are absolutely life-changing. But all these things are things I've talked about before on this channel. Whether it's the operator prices in Rainbow Six, PlayStation's lack of backwards compatibility or a decent implementation of it, and Sony's lack of crossplay is something I talked about earlier this year. I would feel a little bit one-sided if I didn't talk about the positive changes in these situations. So that's the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed it, go ahead and subscribe. If you've already subscribed, there are lots of other things you can click down there. There's a like button, a donation link, a link to a network that I trust to partner your channel to. There's also my Twitter, and there's a little button that lets you write a comment, so you can go ahead and do any of those things. That'd be great. Click on any of them and I'll be happy. Just not the dislike button. Stay away from and don't click the subscribe button again if you've already clicked it. That'll unsubscribe you from the channel. You can click the little bell and get a notification when I upload, but I upload kind of early in the morning, so it's the first thing you wake up to see, and so maybe it might wake you up. Do it anyway, please. I don't know. See you when I see you. Goodbye.
No, he's right there laying down in.
Vigil's in that room.
Yep. Freeze.
What?
Oh, he busted out a master bedroom.
Oh, that's such a good spot too. I did not see him. My screen was shake. That was right as the screen shake happened because of the
cool skin though.
Fuck.
That's an awesome skin on Smoke's gun. Look at that shit.
I see you looking too.
What is this?